I got a truckload of tools today and I can't wait to start opening up some of these boxes. This review is for the brand new Makita LXT Brushless Dual-Bevel Sliding Compound Miter Saw with laser kit and stand. So here's the deal. My brother-in-law was nice enough to let me check out this brand new, just hit the market, battery operated miter saw and stand. Boxes aren't even open yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them out of the box, we're going to put everything together, and then we're going to cut some wood. And we're going to find out how powerful this new brushless saw is. So here's the deal. We're going to open up the stand first. We're going to see what comes in this thing. We're going to set it up, and then we're going to put together the miter saw. And I'm going to put it on top of the stand. And we're going to see how strong everything kind of fits together. So we got a couple boxes in here, so there will be some assembly. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Most of the stand comes assembled for you, so there shouldn't be that much that you need to put together. As far as the legs go, let's open some of these up here. You just push these little buttons in and pull out the legs like this. So it's really simple to do, and you also have a really nice carrying handle that's already attached. Alright, so let's open up some of these boxes, and right now I can see that you get a little roller here, which is really nice, and you get a little end stand here, so if you're cutting larger pieces of wood, it'll actually balance that out for you. So cool. So now I will say the first thing I noticed was one of my knobs was busted, right? So it's crooked, the well was busted, probably during shipping. We'll take a closer look at that, but let's see what else we get in here. We get some casters that we'll put on the end of that and a handle so we can actually move this thing back and forth. Some brackets here to attach the saw. So everything you need for the stand comes in the box. Bolts and the washers all come in this case, and all you got to do is screw on the casters right there. And you can see right here, this is what actually attaches the saw to the stand. So let's tighten these casters in. That's how they go, and we'll just attach the other one on the other side here. And they got a pretty nice spin to them. They feel a little cheap, but I'm hoping they hold up. And the handle goes in on the other side, so this allows you to actually move this around very easily. Once it's attached, it's nice and solid, and it should be good to go. So let's actually attach the brackets now, and you can see these are the locking mechanisms. So all you're going to do is put this down here like so, get it into the track, and then bring it over, and it locks it into place. So very nice and sturdy. I like that. That was easy to do. So just to give you a closer look, all you have to do is pull up on this handle, and when you pull that handle up, a spring back here actually moves the locking mechanism. So you just put those on, you can slide them to where you need them, and then you just lock them down. And what's really nice about this is that you could probably use the stand for any miter saw. Doesn't matter if it's a rigid or what have you, it just locks into place and it's adjustable, and then you just lock those into place like that, you're good to go. And they are solid, so I'm really happy about that. Really nice job. Alright, so right here you actually have a couple sliding nuts, and you can actually adjust these to the size of your miter, and you have a couple clamps right here that just go down on, and you just simply put your miter saw down in, and in the holes that are in your miter saw, the bolts actually go down through and they actually tighten, and you actually get those bolts right here. So it's not hard to adjust this, and like I said, many different size saws should be able to work on this stand here. They also give you a wrench that's able to be stored on the stand itself, and just for a closer look, here is the busted weld. Not really happy with that. It still works, but not happy. Alright, so now you just take that knob there, and you can actually adjust these, it's about 3 feet each, and I'll back this up a little bit and you can actually see, but tighten this down, and now that roller will actually extend out, so if you have a large piece of wood, you can actually use it like that, and it also does that on the stand on the other side, so that's nice. So now let's actually start opening up the miter saw. So this is what the box looks like when you first get it. You know, a lot of cardboard in there. I hope your garbage man doesn't get upset with you because there's a lot. But let's take this camera over here and I'll show you with a little less cardboard, but that's basically what you're going to get. And I'll show you all this stuff out here on the back of the truck. But You really do get a lot of stuff with this. So right here is what the miter saw looks like out of the box. There will be some assembly required. You will also get the double battery charger in two 5AH batteries. Now I'm not going to cover this too much because I already did that in my video for the LXT angle grinder. It's the exact same setup, but you will get both of those. Now you also get a dust collector bag, and I'll show you how that works out. You're going to get your clamp here, which is pretty cool. Allows you to adjust this in a lot of different ways, so we'll look at that. You're going to get a 10-inch Makita blade, so I'm hoping this is pretty sharp. We'll see here. And then you're also going to get a hose that you can actually hook up to your shop vac or sweeper, so you don't always have to use the dust collector bag, and I'll show you how that hooks up. So that's pretty cool. And you're also going to get, there's a tightening knob here. This is going to go in the front of the saw, and I'll show you that. So you do get a few things you have to put on here. Alright, as for the dust collector bag, it's very simple. You're just going to take it and put it on the back right there, just like so. And like I said, I'll show you if it collects good or not. And then for the hose, instead of using the bag, you can put it down there like that, and then you would take the actual bag off and then attach it just like that, and then attach your sweeper to it. So that's really cool. I like that feature. Alright, so as far as it goes with bringing this down, there's a little knob here you got to pull out and then twist, and it unlocks it. Now you can bring this down and up, but you have to make sure that you turn that knob, and now we're going to lock it again, and it won't go anywhere. So the same thing applies over here on the left-hand side. You have to make sure that you keep that on the sliding open, and then if you want to lock that, you have to turn that knob right there. So just make sure that that is loosened, right? And for the fences, I don't like this aspect. You have to take these out to make the 45-degree cuts. I'm used to just being able to slide my fences out and then locking them in, but this one here you actually have to take the fences out, so I'm not a big fan of that. So now if I actually want to change the degree here, right, all I have to do is loosen this, and that's where that knob goes, where I showed you a little bit ago. You push the button down and it'll actually slide. It's somewhat smooth, but it's not perfect. If you let go of the button and you slide it, it'll lock into different degrees, right? And then you can lock it in like that and then push the lock down, right? So you just tighten it up and push the lock down. If I want, I just push that up like that, push the button, and then it'll slide again. It's not that smooth, but it's not that bad either. All right, so let's take a look at the built-in wrench here. We're going to actually install the blade right now, and this isn't as hard as I thought it would be. So let me show you how this works as soon as I move my arm for you. So on the back over here on the other side, there's a button you have to push. The first thing you need to do is take this bolt out, and what that does is it holds that metal plate in. Now you can slide this plate up, and once you slide that plate up, you install the bolt right back into where you took it out, and it leaves that metal plate up in the air. So now you can actually get to the Allen bolt, right? Once you do that, take the guard and actually push it up, and it should stay for you. Now we're going to remove that bolt right there. Push that button in, and that actually locks it for you, so it won't turn when you're trying to tighten. So you have to push that button in. All right, so now that I got that button in, all we're going to do is loosen that bolt. We're going to take that out. Very simple. It's a fairly long bolt. And now you're ready to install the blade. And there you go, that's off there. And we're going to take that blade and simply install it like so. So now once you got that on there, you got to make sure that it goes into this rubber slot, and I'll show you. And then all you do is put back on your washer here and then tighten it down. Right here is where you need to make sure that your blade goes into that slot. And then just make sure, once again, you really crank that thing. Hold that button in the back, because if not, it's just going to turn on you. Alright, so now that we got the blade in, take that bolt back out, slide your metal casing down back over. Once you do that, just tighten that back up. And now you're ready to cut. You are ready to go. Alright, and those bolts that I showed you before, this is where they go. They actually just screw down into those nuts that are already located at the bottom of the stand. Make sure it's tight on all sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll tell you what, it's solid. It stays on there. And then just make sure this is locked down. And now it's not going to go anywhere. And FYI, this little knob right here, you can just twist that there and pull these out. And that's what that's for. Alright, so let's take a look on how we actually make different cuts. So if we want to actually do a bevel, you have to loosen that knob, right? And I'll show you what this button does here in a bit. But you loosen that knob and you pull the pin out. Now there's a 45-degree angle right there. If I want to go back the other way to a 45, I have to push this lock button right here. I push it, it's going to go down into a different bevel, and then I pull this down and just adjust it to whatever degree I want. And right here is the actual pin, so you just pull that pin out. It will not go to the right unless you push that button. It's not broke, you just have to push the button. And now you pull that pin back out again and bring it back up to 0. And then once you do that, all you do is tighten it down again. Alright, so this actually goes on either side, and the one thing I will say that I don't like about this is that you have to do a lot of twisting and turning. The saw that I have now, you can actually just push a button and adjust everything. You really do have to crank everything down here. But that being said, it really is versatile because you can swivel it a lot of different ways. Bring it up, bring it down, and all that good stuff. So I like that. It stays out of the way of the blade. And then just for a close-up of the batteries, you can just see right here, I push this, and it lights those 4 lights up, saying that it's fully charged. Let me bring it in the shade here. And you have to use 2 batteries on this saw. One goes there, one goes there, and it's ready to go. Alright, let's do a 45-degree cut on some pine here. Make sure our guard's in, and you can see it's ready to slide. Oh, and FYI, here is your push button to start it. There's a power button up on top. And here we go. And I'll tell you what, this is extremely smooth. I mean, there's not a lot of vibration at all. And boy, I'll tell you what, that knife is sharp. It cuts down there extremely smooth. I'm really quite impressed of how well that cut actually. And look how smooth that is. You can see all the rings. Nothing's damaged. It's just, I'll tell you what, if you're using this to cut molding, I think it would do a fantastic job. Really well done. Alright, so right here, we're just going to bring it over and we're going to do an angle cut here. And once again, just extremely smooth. The glide on this thing is very, very smooth. And just another smooth cut. And FYI, let me show you this real quick here. This right here, if you push this in, is battery 1 and battery 2. It shows you how much life you have on each battery. So that's pretty cool. A little bit of overkill, but it's cool. And then here's a treated 4x4. Make sure that this is not locked. See that gap? Make sure this slides. And I'll tell you what, I've cut a lot of these today, and I'm not going to show you every cut. Knife through butter. Simple. Really impressed with that actually. Now let me show you the dust collector bag. This is another thing that works pretty well on this. There's no zipper on this. All you do is take this white piece of plastic strip here and just slide it down through, and it holds it in there. And FYI, this screw right here, make sure that you screw this all the way in because there's a stop here, and that stop, if it moves on you, it won't let you bring your saw down the whole way. So just screw that all the way in. Now as far as it goes with the stand, it's heavy duty and it moves pretty good. I drug this up the yard through the grass and the uneven surfaces, and it wasn't too bad at all. On the concrete, it's very smooth, and the wheels are actually better than I thought they would be. And I just want to show you what this thing actually sounds like while it's running. All right, so here's the deal. There's a lot of things I really like about the saw, and there's a couple things that I don't. Number one is I don't like how the knob well was snapped off, right? Now that probably happened during shipping, but either or, it upset me, okay? Number two is I do not like that you have to remove the fence to make a 45-degree cut on either side. It just doesn't work for me. I don't care for that. And the other thing that I really don't like is there's really a lot of adjustments and knobs and things you got to turn on this thing just to get certain degree cuts. Now, once you use this for a while, I think you will overcome that. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but it just seems like a bit much to make a different adjustment here and there. Other than that, the stand is awesome, very heavy duty, other than the broken well, like I said. The power on this thing is quite surprising. Now, you get two very large batteries, right? You get the two 5AH, but I couldn't really tell a difference between this and an electrical saw. The cuts were extremely smooth, and I did not notice any resistance going down through wood. And I made a lot of cuts, and I didn't put every one of them up here, but I made a lot of cuts on treated 4x4s and so on, and it just kept going, and the battery lasts a very long time. The slides are very smooth. The adjustments, you know, when it comes to the bevel and the compound and all that, it's a little stiff, but I think that'll loosen up over time as well. Now, that being said, what do I give this? Of a 1 to 5 star, I'm giving this a 4 star just because of some of the negatives. But all around, this is a heavy duty professional grade saw. So that being said, if this video has helped you, please thumbs up, subscribe, check us out at www.toolreviewzone.com, and we will be back with more videos soon.